So, Purva, thank you very much for willing to join this discussion. The whole idea of this discussion today is just to get a sense of how your approach towards your whole MS has been at UPenn and towards your job search, towards your on-campus working, and all that. And in general, so that other students who are both planning to go to UPenn as well as planning to do their masters in computer science or in general a masters in the US can get some insights from your experiences. So,
Sure. Yeah.
just to give, everybody a view, you started at UPenn with the masters in computer science in fall of 2021, August
Right.
2021, right? And
Yes. Yes.
you graduated from PICT Pune with a degree in computer engineering in 2020,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, the earlier plan was to start in 2020 itself, but then due to COVID, things got
Right.
delayed by a year,
Yes.
right? So you had
Right.
this admit in 2020, or it was when you reapplied and the next year you got this admit?
So I got admitted originally in 2020.
Okay,
And I think one of the major reasons why I got admit in the first place is because I applied for the early deadline.
okay, yeah,
So
right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel it is very important to take care of these things and apply in the early deadline if
Mm-hmm.
possible because your chances increase a lot. I probably wouldn't have gotten in if I wouldn't have done the early deadline.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah.
yeah. And then you
And which
deferred
is
it,
why I had my decision early. I had a
right?
decision on Jan 15th. On Jan 15th, I knew I was going to go to UPenn because
Okay. But
I already
things got
had my
delayed because
decision.
of COVID, right? One year. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, yes.
So how has it been at UPenn? I mean, being in an Ivy League school, one of the best schools for computer science as well. So how has been your overall experience there?
So overall experience has been amazing.
Hmm.
Like everything at UPenn is pretty great. Obviously, they create this really nice, conducive environment. You
Okay.
have this sense of community with everybody because every second person here is Indian.
Okay.
So it doesn't feel that you've left India sometimes.
Mhm.
Like I stay at a place where the Indian store is 2 streets away. I can
Okay.
literally buy whatever I want from the Indian store. So in
Okay.
that sense, in that aspect, my life hasn't really changed.
Okay.
But what has drastically changed is my attitude towards life.
Okay.
I was this very passive person with the chalta hai attitude,
Hmm.
whatever. I will just do things whatever is happening to me, I will just accept it and be like, oh, okay, whatever, this is it. I got placed at a company in college. I didn't even bother looking for a second job. Like the hustle culture that we see, right?
Hmm.
I was definitely not a part of it. But
Okay.
once you come to the US, you see everybody around you doing all these things. You feel like, I have to be part of this. Whatever I'm even doing in my life, and then there are 10 other things that you have to figure out. It's not just
Correct.
academics. You
Yes.
have to
Right.
cook, to figure out everything for yourself. And
Hmm.
especially for me, I had not left my house. Like even during undergrad, I'm from Pune, born and brought up in Pune. So
Hmm.
when I did my engineering at PICT, I was staying at home.
Okay.
So I had a very chill life in general. I would
Hmm.
even say I was super pampered.
Okay.
So yeah, coming here and figuring out things for myself.
So
It was
was
a
it
amazing journey. I mean, it was much easier than I thought it would be.
okay? But
And
nothing
as
really
per the computer
challenging.
science, yes.
Something was really challenge that you found was a real challenge in the beginning, at least in the initial few months, or not really? You just got
Not really. I was panicking so much about being on my own, figuring out things on my own. But once I came here, I realized I'm not really on my own.
mm,
Everybody around me is facing the exact same problems,
okay.
right?
Mhm.
Everybody has the same tension. Everybody doesn't know whether we are going to get a visa or not. Nobody knows where to stay. Everybody's just panicking, like, I don't have roommates, I don't have a house, I don't know what to do. So,
Okay.
and there are these university WhatsApp groups, right, where you
Right.
figure out.
Right.
So, using those, I felt that, I mean, I was scared for no reason. Like,
Okay.
when it comes to all these things, you end up figuring them out very easily, especially if you're going to a college where there is a strong Indian community. Everybody in the Indian community is facing the same issues you are. In fact, all international students face the same issues we face. It's
Right.
not just about being Indian, right?
Hmm.
So I never faced a problem there. Academics wise, it was a big shift for me
Okay.
because like the way things work out at any Indian college in undergrad, that nobody cares what is happening, right? So I feel that even though I did 4 years of undergrad, I doubt I have learned more than 6 months in those 4 years. That too, the 6 months is probably when I finally took charge. Like, what am I doing? I don't know anything. It's been 4 years now. I at least need a job, so let's do some coding questions.
Okay.
That was probably the 6 months when I did learn something. So, but here you don't have a choice. You have to know your own work. Even I'm not saying that you have to do everything on your own and you can never take help. That is the wrong approach. There
Okay.
is always help. You can always discuss it with your peers. But when it comes to actually solving your assignment, you cannot directly copy.
Okay.
You have to understand what you've done, right?
Okay.
So that teaches you.
Right. But in terms of course load, you took the normal like 9 credits a sem, or you tried to take in more courses in the initial sems or later sems?
So UPenn has a thing where you need 10 courses to graduate.
Yes.
And you have 4 semesters,
Right.
right?
So 30 credits,
you
right?
can-
Your program.
No, UPenn has a different credit
Oh, okay,
system.
okay. You don't have a credit system.
It's
Okay.
1 credit per course, and you do
Okay.
10
So
courses.
you do
for 10
10 courses
credits.
to graduate. Okay.
Right. And as an international student, per semester, you need to do 3 courses
Okay.
to be a full-time student.
Fair.
So people usually go for a 3-3-2-2 approach or a 3-3-3-1 approach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So I did the 3-3-2-2 because I wanted my workload split evenly. And I took difficult courses in the third semester, which
Okay.
felt as though I was doing 4 courses at the same time, even though I was only doing 2 courses.
Okay.
So, yeah,
And you also have been working as a TA.
correct.
So
Yes.
since when did you start with the TA position?
So before, when I came here, I always wanted to do some job, right? Basically take care. UPenn is very expensive. Like the fee, there was no way I could do anything to pay the fee. It was always going to come from a loan. We had made peace with that long back when we decided to apply to UPenn in the first
Right.
place. That's when we knew that this is not something anybody can afford, or
Right.
at least we couldn't definitely afford it, right? So it was just about the living expenses for me. Like that was something which was achievable. Which is why when I came here in the first semester, I wanted to do some TA. But I quickly realized that one, I don't have the time for it because I was struggling with courses. And two, I didn't feel I had the knowledge to become a TA for some course. I didn't want to misguide students, right? So what I did was I applied for a grading position. And because UPenn does not have a lot of like, it's not like a college where one class has 700 kids. It was easy. It is relatively easy in UPenn to get a TA. Like I could have probably gotten one in my first semester, right?
Okay.
I personally felt I didn't have the knowledge for it. And you can still be a TA and be like, these are aspects of the course that I'm not good with. And they will accept that if they are not getting TAs. Especially when I came in 2021, the seniors batch didn't really exist.
Okay.
So for us, there were a lot of job openings and majority of us got good jobs, good campus. And they pay you well. They pay you enough to cover your living expenses.
Okay.
So I did a grading position and then I did a TA. Then I did a TA in the course which I had taken in the first semester. And after that, I have been TAing the same course for 2 semesters.
Okay. And how much do they approximately pay you for these
So-
grading and TA positions?
Right. So it is a standard salary. Across computer science, all courses get the same salary. And I think first semester, because I was grading, I got a little less. I had, I think, $13 per hour or maybe 15, I'm not sure. But since I became a TA, it has been a constant $18 per hour.
Okay. And you do 20 hours a week?
You can do 20 hours a week. And I am TA for an online course.
Okay.
So it is very flexible for me. So I take my office hour from home, and things like that. Like the course itself is completely online.
Okay, but you still
The professor also has recorded lectures.
Right. So you still put in 20 hours a week.
Yeah, I can put in 20 hours a week, definitely.
Okay.
It depends on how much the workload is. Yeah.
Okay.
I can bill for 20 hours. It is written on my offer letter that I can bill for 20 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Up to 20.
Right. Some people do 2 TAs, things like that. Even that is allowed. All of that is fine.
Okay. Fine. And how was your, in terms of getting an internship, So how easy, difficult was it? Did that whole Ivy League tag help you, or was it more? Was it more that you still
So
had to struggle?
honestly, I don't know if the Ivy League tag helped me or what helped me, what did not help me. I
Okay.
feel all of it is a one huge black box. You really don't know. But I mean, the Ivy League thing is more about, I think, a prestige thing for me. And then when I go out and say I'm from UPenn, I'm doing computer science, oh my God, you must be so smart. I'm like, not really. I mean, you don't know me to call me smart. Just because I'm at UPenn and just because I'm doing computer science does not make me smart,
Mhm.
right? Find something I do and say that, oh, this was a smart thing to do, right?
Okay.
But, anyways, besides the point, I don't think the Ivy League tag really helps anywhere other than, like, for me personally, um there are different things about UPenn which I like, right? And for those things I would come here. I wouldn't come here for the Ivy League tag.
Okay.
I mean, sure, it is a big brand thing. I don't know how much it has helped me in life though. At
So,
least as of now I don't. Maybe in the future it might. I don't
okay. Yeah,
know.
but in terms of
So it was just
internship search, yeah. So what really? What was your approach towards getting internships, and how did that work?
correct. So, first of all, it's not like it happens in India, right? Companies don't come to your college. You are not called, come give tests, come attend presentation, come give interview, right? Here you have to apply on your own. And
Right.
the way it works is you send definitely very easily 100, maybe 200, sometimes 300 applications. Like every spot you find, you apply and then you hope that you get callbacks. And it's not easy to get callbacks. I don't know whether, and it's not on location, it's not on the college. It's just, I feel it's just luck. Like you getting callbacks sometimes because it's because of the sheer amount of people who are applying to these job openings. So
Right.
even if you do well in the assessment test, you may not get a call back sometimes.
Mhm.
And sometimes you probably didn't do so well in the interview, but because they are pressed for time, they're going to hire you anyways. Like it works both ways,
Yeah.
right? So you this is one of the things which is not really in your hand. What is in your hand is keep preparing yourself
Mhm.
and hope that it works out. So for me, I did a lot of applications, but ironically, there is this tool called Handshake
Mhm.
which I learned about after I came here. So you can sign on to it using your university's login, right? The
Okay.
single sign-on thing works on Handshake, and my university has that. So my university puts my grade and things like that
Okay.
on Handshake. So it is a bit more maybe reliable for recruiters,
Okay.
and yeah. So I would apply everywhere. I would apply on places to LinkedIn, which I would find on LinkedIn. I would apply to places on Handshake. I would everywhere and anything I could find, I would apply. That's how it
Okay.
worked. And then I would check Handshake regularly to see if I got something. And then one day I directly had an assessment link in my message in
Mhm.
Handshake. And I was like, okay, maybe I would have applied. I don't remember. So
Okay.
I didn't even remember. I didn't even know the company name. Okay, I just saw assessment test, and that was the last day to give it. And it was 3 hours before the test would expire. And I
Okay.
was like, wow, if today I wouldn't have checked Handshake, I would have never known about this.
Mhm.
And then I gave the test and I forgot about it. 2 weeks later, I get a mail saying, oh, your test was, you did well in the test. Please apply for this position. I'm like, wow, I didn't even apply for this position yet. Okay. So I went and I applied. Again, a few days later, I get an email saying, now you will have like a proper interview.
Okay.
And then we took an interview and then they ghosted me for 3 months.
Okay.
Like, no response. I didn't even know what to expect. 3 months later, they tell me that you did well on your interview, like you showed good problem solving ability, but because of time constraint, they asked me two coding questions, and the second one I didn't show the output exactly. But
Okay.
I had almost solved it. Like given 5 more minutes, I would have had the output. Like my logic and everything was correct.
Mhm.
But they were like, because of that, we're going to take another interview.
Okay.
I was like, okay, take another interview then.
Mhm.
And then again, they ghosted me for a month.
Okay.
And then directly one day I get a call saying, hi, I'm a recruiter at Intuit. I'm like, okay, you're so going to schedule a new interview for me, right? She's like, no, we've decided that because we are pressed for time, we are not taking another interview. Your performance was good enough. We are giving you an offer directly. I'm
Okay.
like, no,
So,
okay.
so Intuit was the only offer that you had, or you had other something else also in the pipeline while you were
While I
preparing
was
for interview?
working, I mean, I had a few more interviews lined up, but nothing else actually turned up. And
Okay.
Intuit was basically they were giving me something that I like. Like I wanted to work on front end development and
Okay.
or full stack development, and they were open to that. And
Okay.
because in the past I had worked on a similar thing, I think my profile got flagged because of my resume for them.
Okay. Okay.
Like in India, my work I was working on the anti-money laundering sphere and fraud prevention sphere. And at UPenn also, right now, when I join,
Mhm.
I will be joining the cybercraft team, which is again fraud prevention, anti-money laundering, those kinds of things, cybersecurity things,
I
basically.
mean, at Intuit.
At Intuit also.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
you.
once my internship was done, they gave me a full time offer on the last day itself. Like they told me verbally that I will get a full time offer.
Okay.
And so far, they haven't revoked any offers. So let's hope it works out.
Okay. But then once they give you a full time offer and once they confirm, are you still applying or you just kind of chill?
I applied in my last semester
Mhm.
to see where I stand. And because I had prepped during the summer for it,
Okay.
but then because, and my interviews are going pretty well, like they went pretty good according to
Mhm.
me. I was able to solve questions this time. I'm able to get output, stuff like that.
Okay.
But the issue I faced, I think, was that because of headcount, they were hiring the really good people only.
Okay.
And my semester in general was very busy.
Mhm.
So for me, I started feeling that I already have a job offer. I'm struggling with courses right now. It doesn't make sense to keep applying and just like it was wasting my time, I felt. And
Okay.
I was confident that given an interview, I can crack it now. So even that was solved for me. And then I stopped applying. And then this semester I have time, but I
Okay.
decided to figure out what job I want to apply to, right? What would
Okay.
be a better job than my current job?
Mhm.
And I am still struggling with the question
Okay.
because big tech companies are not hiring right now.
Right.
And my profile at Intuit is something I'm going to enjoy.
So your Intuit job starts in June. So you'll.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So this you would be graduating in May and then you will probably start in.
I will start working in June.
And that
Yes.
is again in California or
Yeah, yeah. It's in Mountain View, California.
Mountain View. So even your internship you have to relocate to Mountain View.
No, my internship was remote. I was staying in
Oh, okay.
Philadelphia.
Internship was so you were at UPenn itself.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
I think that is when I most enjoyed Philadelphia for the first time because
Okay.
I had so much time.
Hmm. And summers in Philadelphia are good actually. So summers,
I
falls.
think Philadelphia in general is a very good city. The weather is not bad. I mean, I would consider coming back to Philadelphia in the future, maybe. I don't know.
So when you went to UPenn, I mean, I mean, before you actually decided to, not decided to actually join the university, did you do any additional preparation or something that, for incoming students? So not just coming to UPenn, but going to any
Right.
university, would you advise that, you do something before you join or you think kind of not require the master's teaches you everything?
Obviously, that is not true.
Mm.
But so, first of all, I would recommend that you get into a habit of doing coding questions if you're from the CS background or
Okay.
whatever the interview equivalent is for you.
Mm.
Because as soon as you come here, like it is best if you start applying, and if you have that fear of I wouldn't do well in interviews, right?
Uh-huh.
It is very difficult to apply to places. You feel that even if I get an interview right now, I won't do well at it.
Okay.
So more than the coursework, for us, job is important, right?
Right, right.
So I feel that it is important that you practice a little in that area and then only come here.
Mhm.
That is one. And second is the courses that we take, right? They have prerequisites. I will
Okay.
recommend that you do the prerequisites and come. It's not okay to be like, I will just do it when the time comes. It doesn't happen. It really doesn't.
Okay.
So I was very lucky and very fortunate that so the ML course here had prerequisites and I took the tougher version of the ML course because I was
Okay.
like, I want to learn all the math. I want to know what it is really. I don't want to learn the applied side of it.
Mhm.
And they had these prerequisites, probability and things. And we have done probability in 12th grade, or we have done all of this. But
Okay.
that's not what is required. Like
Okay.
it is very important to look up what is actually required in the
Mhm.
prerequisite and study it up a little.
Okay.
I was lucky that I found a friend who was very strong with all these things and all the assignments were in pairs.
Okay.
So even though my prerequisites didn't exist, he was okay. And he liked the subject a lot in general also.
Okay.
So he was okay with it and he was like, okay, it's fine. I will teach you what to do. And then
Mhm.
I just, I did well in the course. But
Okay.
without like that support, it would have been difficult.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah.
And anything else that you would like to, just add about your experiences in general, or just to tell someone who is actually going to start their masters this coming fall, not just
Okay.
with UPenn, but any masters, incoming master student, anything else?
Yes. I think it is very easy to feel that you're the only one who's facing some problem, which is
Mhm.
never the case. Like I mentioned at the start,
Right, right.
everybody around you is going through the same thing. For example, like if you're taking a course which is very overwhelming,
Mhm.
very common thing. There are I'm pretty sure almost everybody in that course is struggling, apart from the few people who are not struggling. And those few people have probably done something equivalent previously. And they are not getting anything from the course. It's you who are getting things from the course, right?
Right, right.
Without the struggle, there is no true learning.
Mhm.
Like the struggle is what helps you actually overcome something and then you actually learn. Like
Right.
a contrast between the education in India and here that I have done at least. In
Okay.
India, it was just rote learning and just getting done with things,
Mhm.
studying one day before the exam and just going. I mean, we still study one day before the exam, but throughout the semester also we have to do something,
Right, right.
right? We
Mhm.
have to keep at it. And another thing is that it's okay if you are struggling, right? It's not a big deal, and you can always go to OH sessions, which is like the office hour sessions.
You're right.
Even the professors hold office hours, and
Mhm.
this is common in all universities.
Right.
And the PAs, they have done the course in the previous semesters, so even they know what kind of struggle you're going through,
Mhm.
and all of them are super helpful. So it is important to like put yourself out there and take advantage of all the resources your university provides.
You're right.
Additionally, at the university there are different kinds of events, right? There are talks, some people like to attend them. Then there are PhD thesis defense. There is n number of things that are there at a university.
Mhm.
For me personally, I like to attend events as stress busters.
Okay.
So I will attend a painting event. I would never do painting in India, but here I will go sit, do a painting event. Why? Because it is calming me down finally.
Mhm.
Or I will go do maybe, I don't know, I learned so many different things here because there are events which you can go and just pick things up. So I learned to knit, I learned to crochet. I would never do these things normally, right? But now I realize these things help me calm down. So why shouldn't I do them?
You're right.
So so my advice essentially is that don't just go there to and keep focusing on academics only. If you need a break, take the break. Don't get burnt out.
Mhm.
If you feel that increasing your technical knowledge is important to you, there are other events for that. Like
You're right.
look through what works for you and just do those things, because these are the years in your life where you're supposed to explore and figure things out, right, for
Correct,
yourself.
correct.
And you develop habits which you're probably going to follow for your lifetime. So it is important that you do these things in the university itself.
Sure, definitely. That's definite something then you do, because I've seen a lot of students who get too bogged down by the whole academic thing, and they
Right.
kind of and so for most of the students it might just be your last college degree.
Exactly,
So this is
exactly.
like an
So it is
time
important
when
to enjoy that as well.
right. So having fun in college, I mean within limits, of course, is also
Yeah.
equally important. Right.
Yes,
Otherwise, then after that, you just miss that student life once you. I mean, of course, there is still fun after college. It's not that, but it's a different environment altogether.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you,
And
Purva.
it is a hard life, but
Hmm.
you learn to figure it out. So it's okay.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Chalo, thank you, Purva, a lot for taking out time and having this short discussion. And
Sure.
if you think there is something that you missed out, just feel free to reach out. We can maybe add it or have another discussion maybe sometime. Maybe
Sure.
once you actually start your work with the Intuit, maybe at that point we can have another discussion sometime.
Yep,
So
definitely. Happy to help.
yeah,
Thank you for having me.
sure, sure. All the best.
It's very clear that I love talking. So,
All the best for your future career and stay in touch.
yes. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Bye.
Bye.